Hello everyone. Today we're going to go over the importance of top balancing your cells. This is important to make sure all the cells have reached the same voltage and makes the BMS life a lot easier because it does not have to constantly balance these cells. It also makes sure that you have achieved a full charge. To top balance your cells, you want to arrange them so that all the negative terminals are on the same side and all the positive terminals are on the same side. Then attach them together and supply a current. In our case, we have a 200 amp power supply that can run at low voltage, but we normally run these at around 80 amps. So we set the completing voltage to 3.65, send an 80 amp current, and this allows all the cells to regulate to the same exact voltage. Now we're actually going to show you how these cells are. Now, even though they were new from the manufacturer and they were balanced, let's actually look to see what the actual voltage is. So if we look at the last cell in the chain, we see a voltage of 3.365. Let's look at the second last cell in the chain. We see a voltage of 3.37. Let's look at the second cell in the chain. 3.37. And now we'll go over the first cell in the chain. 3.35. So, in this case, these two cells are the same voltage. This one's a little lower, and the first one's actually the lowest. Normally, you would think the DC, the first cell in the chain, will be the highest, but that's not necessarily the case. And that is why we are performing a top balance charge. It's going to bring all the cells up to the same voltage, so when we assemble a completed battery, the BMS can make sure we get full capacity. So, very important, and you don't necessarily need to have a very expensive power supply to do this. You can actually get smaller power supplies that only may have 10 amps or so, and just gang one or two of them together. And then that will allow you to put about 20-30 amps to your entire chain and bring your cells up to balance. Just be aware, once they're top balanced, they should remain that way for the entirety of the life of the battery. However, if you charge the battery at high capacities, like 40-50 amps, or you discharge the battery at high capacity over 50-60 amps, these cells can become out of balance. Like your BMS should bring them back to balance, but if you're seeing that the cells are constantly going out of balance, you may need to add an active balancer on top of your standard balancer, simply because your use case is basically pushing the battery cells harder than typical. In a solar installation or somewhere you are drawing under 200 or 300 watts, you should pretty much not have to worry about this. They will pretty much stay balanced for the entirety of your battery life. So thank you for watching, and we'll look forward to producing more content and about batteries and how to maintain them in the future. Thank you.